I remember the day I read my first manga. It was back in middle school where, during one of the periodic scholastic book sales, I happened upon an issue of Shonen Jump, or rather Viz's monthly version of Shonen Jump, that, like its parent series from Japan, featured shonen series like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and One Piece. I read through it multiple times and signed up for the subscription as quickly as I could, which also led me to purchasing my first manga volume, Yu Yu Hakusho Volume 1, that I still have today. Since then, it's no exaggeration to say that my collection has grown, as has my love for manga as a medium, with some of my favorite series of all time still coming from the pages of Shonen Jump. However, as the years went on, I can't lie that entries had started to feel samey, utilizing overly familiar story beats and character archetypes. And this could have been due to a lack of originality, or the pressure of Jump's editorial board attempting to create the next mega hit series. It got to a point where, other than the series I'd been reading for years, I sort of fell off of manga, and paused collecting volumes for a long time. This was until just a couple years ago, when almost as a response to this stagnation, Jump started releasing titles that reignited my love for the genre, like the epic sports saga that is Haikyuu, or the dark terror that is The Promised Neverland. But I think one that has by far stood out to me in recent memory has gotta be the gripping and grisly tale that is Chainsaw Man. Hey my friends, I'm Mike and welcome back to the Lions Lounge. Chainsaw Man was created by Tatsuki Fujimoto and ran from December 2018 to December 2020, concluding its first part with part 2 starting in Jump Plus. The story follows a young teen named Denji, whose father passed away, leaving behind a large debt he owed to the Yakuza, one which they demand he repay on threat of death. Luckily for Denji, he has a pet devil Pochita, who has the nose of a chainsaw, and with him serves as a devil hunter to claim their bounties. All's well and good until the Yakuza are possessed by devils themselves and decide to eliminate Denji. However, Denji had made a request prior to Pochita to possess him in the event that he died, to which Pochita decides to instead merge and become his heart, turning Denji into the titular Chainsaw Man. With this newfound strength, Denji kills the Yakuza and meets Mahima, a high-ranking devil hunter from public safety, who offers Denji a job to prevent himself from being killed now that he's become part devil. See, in this world, devils are physical manifestations of people's fears, meaning Pochita, the chainsaw devil, represented people's fears of chainsaws, and the stronger the fear, the stronger the devil. After Denji joins public safety, he's paired with Aki Hayakawa and Power. The former is a human whose parents were wiped out by the Gun Devil, an incredibly powerful creature feared throughout the world. And the latter is actually a fiend herself, a devil that has completely taken over its human host, but has chosen to work with public safety, fighting her own kind to keep herself alive. There's a lot I love about this series, from its beautiful and unique art style, to its creative and exciting fights, to just how dark and depressing it can get, especially as we head to the end. And it's all of this combined with one major selling point that basically had me marathoning the whole series, and that is the relationship between Denji and Power. Earlier I had mentioned that Denji had spent a good chunk of his childhood killing devils in service of the Yakuza. And this meant that he never had an opportunity to go to school, have good food, or feel the warmth of love from family and friends. Meaning as a young teen, he's pretty emotionally damaged. And because Power is a fiend, she sees humans as inferior and only fights so as not to be eliminated herself. Not to mention she almost used Denji as a sacrifice to the Bat Devil to save her cat, the only creature she actually likes. But after this encounter, the two start to develop a more friendly relationship with each other that turns into something like siblings. And I kind of found this refreshing. Normally in shonen series like this, it would lead to them confessing to each other and becoming romantic partners. But no, they clearly state to each other at one point that they're just friends, and it's beautiful. Any scene with the two of them fighting together I loved, and Power's badass and really tugged at my heartstrings as we reached the end of part 1. Like seriously, I think I loved Power the most out of any other character in the series, just by how interesting her arc was and how her relationship with Denji evolved. So with all that being said, I wanted to make 2 drinks today, one for Denji and one for Power. And doing some research while making this video, there's a shot called the Chainsaw that I've never had and wanted to give a try. So you're gonna prepare this one like a shake and drink, and you're gonna start with 1.5 ounces or 45 milliliters of a Blanco Tequila. Then 1/4 ounce or 7.5 milliliters of sour mix. Sour mix is just a combination of 2 parts lemon juice, 2 parts simple syrup, and 1 part lime juice. And then lastly, you're gonna add 3 drops of Tabasco sauce. Add some ice and shake for 12 seconds. Then strain into a shot glass. And then you're just gonna top it with some fresh ground pepper. And there you have the Chainsaw. Bottoms up. So, this is really unique. The first thing you get up front is the black pepper, which kind of just hits you right in the face. And then you have that little bit of spice from the Tabasco, which honestly you could probably scale up just a little bit. And then the agave notes from the tequila shine through in a combination with the lime juice. Would I make this again? Probably not. I mean, it is a shot, so I guess I could just drink it quickly, but it's not great, honestly. Totally make one if you want. I mean, it's an experience, which I guess is kind of what I was going for, considering Chainsaw Man is an experience. And lastly, we have Power's cocktail. And because she's the blood devil, I wanted it to look like, well, blood. So for this one, you're gonna start with 2 ounces or 60 milliliters of a white rum. Next, 1/2 ounce or 15 milliliters of lemon juice. And lastly, 1 ounce or 30 milliliters of raspberry syrup. This is basically a simple syrup made with raspberries. Add some ice and shake for 12 seconds. Then strain this into a Nick and Nora glass. And then for garnish, I chose to go with 2 blueberries, mainly because Power's color scheme tends to be blue and red. And there you have the Power. Cheers. Ooh, that is really good. So the first thing that comes across is definitely that raspberry syrup. You could probably make this a little bit thicker in appearance if you used a 2-to-1 simple syrup as well as raspberry. Honestly though, it's already pretty sweet. And then when you combine it with that lemon juice, it offsets the sweetness a little bit with some tartness. The rum is barely present at all, despite the fact that there's 2 ounces in there, which also kind of makes this a pretty dangerous cocktail. Yeah, this is really enjoyable. It's almost like a raspberry lemonade. Unlike the Chainsaw, I highly recommend you try this one. Today we made the Power and the Chainsaw, 2 cocktails inspired by the amazing series Chainsaw Man, which I'm also super happy is getting an anime adaptation later this year. I'd really recommend you give the series and these cocktails a try. Be a little cautious with the Chainsaw though. And if you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. And if you'd like me to make a cocktail from your favorite series, let me know in the comments below. If you want to see what I make outside this channel, follow me on Twitter at Mr. Spacelion or Instagram at Mr.Spacelion. But thank you so much for stopping by the Lions Lounge. I've been your bartender, Mike, and I hope to see you next time.